I'm always talking about it because I feel like if you don't learn how to love yourself, if you don't learn how to love yourself, how is it possible for you to tell when someone's loving you correctly? And if you don't learn how to love yourself, and if you don't learn self-worth, then you will always be someone's footstool. So that's why I'm always talking about self-worth. That's why I'm always talking about love. That's why I'm always talking about just living your best life, getting rid of toxic people, centering yourself around people who love you. And, I say I'm always talking about self-worth because self-worth is very important. That's why. Because if you don't learn how to love yourself, how do you really know when someone's really loving you the right way? If you don't learn how to love yourself, and if you don't feel like you're worthy, how are you going to believe someone else when they come and tell you that they love you and that you're worthy of the things that they're doing for you in your life? It makes your life complicated when you don't take time to have that self-care that you need. So that's why I take time for self-care. That's why I take time to see about myself. When I'm tired, I take breaks. When I need to go away and do something for myself, that's what I go do. And I learned that I have to go do that because you have to learn how to isolate yourself when you need to just breathe. And sometimes we forget that. Sometimes we forget how to love ourselves because we're always busy taking care of the husband and the kids and work and everything else. And we forget how to love ourselves. We forget how to take time just to sit back and just walk around your yard and just give God thanks about all of the blessings, one of my inboxes, and they asked me, why am I always talking about self-worth and saying that you're worthy? And I said, because of Luke 1:45 says, blessed is she who believed that there would be a fulfillment in what God promised her. And because I believe that, that's why I talk about self-worth, because self-worth is important. If you don't learn how to love yourself, how is someone else going to love you? And when God does bring that person into your life that's going to love on you, how are you going to be able to tell what it is if you never learn self-worth, you never learn self-love, you never learn how to treat yourself well? So that's why I talk about self-worth. And it didn't really bother me that someone asked me that. It didn't bother me that they asked me that. It didn't bother me at all because they asked me a genuine question. I talk about it. I talk about self-worth, and I talk about self-care. And I talk about self-love because it's important. Because if you don't learn how to love yourself, how can you know how to love someone else? If you have low self-esteem, when God sends your person to you, how are you going to notice them? When they come to talk to you, you're not gonna be able to handle it. If you don't get a grasp on your self-esteem, what God is bringing to you in your life, you're going to miss it. If you don't get a grasp on how worthy you are of the blessings that He's sending to you in your life, you're going to miss the door when it's open. If you don't get a grasp on how to self-care, self-love, and treat yourself like you're worthy of the gifts and the things that God has given you, you're going to miss it when He comes knocking. You're going to miss it when she comes knocking. You're going to miss it. This is why I talk about self-worth, self-love, and self-care, because there was a point in my life where I really needed to hear that from God, not from man, but from God. And I had to tell myself, you are worthy, you are beautiful, you are loved, you are wonderfully made, you are fearfully made. I had to tell myself that. And I had to learn that I couldn't wait on anyone else to tell me that I'm worthy. You can't keep waiting on someone else to do it for you. You will be waiting a lifetime to hear the exact words that you need to hear to give you that exact boost to push you to exactly where God needs you to be. He's telling you to fill yourself up with Him. And once you fill yourself up with Him, everything else that you've got going on is going to fall into place. Trust me, it is. But you've got to have that self-love. You've got to learn to take care of yourself, King. You've got to start taking care of yourself, Queen. You've got to do it. So when God opens that door for you, and when he brings it into your life, you will be fully ready for what he has. He's not going to bring it to you half empty. He's not going to bring it to you if you can't recognize it. When he brings it, he's not going to give it to you. He's waiting. He's waiting. He said, just do it. Just step out on faith. Just move. Just start it. Just complete it. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. You are loved, worthy, needed, desired, wanted, appreciated. You're not misunderstood. You're built different. And God says his people are built different. Those that are chosen are built different. So I just want to let you know that. You're not ugly. You're beautiful. You're wonderfully made. We all look different. Everybody looks different. Different shapes, different sizes, different backgrounds, different cultures. Be uniquely you and who God made you to be. See, that's what he wants me to tell you. Stop trying to be like someone else and start being uniquely you and who he wants you to be, who he's made you to be with the gifts and talents that he's given you. Be yourself and you'll see the doors will start to open. It is my prayer for you that God will continue to work with you and to reveal to you who you are. Because some of you out there don't see it. But I pray that God will continue to show you who you really are. So you can bloom and blossom. So you can go from caterpillar into the cocoon and then transformation into your butterfly and you can soar. I'm telling you, he'll do it for you, just like he did it for me. All right? My name is Sherry Singleton. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you hit like, follow, share this with someone that you know that needs to know that they are worthy. All right? If you know someone that thinks that they're always on the bottom, that they're the black sheep, that they're not worthy, say, hey, you got this in the comments. Tag someone in the comments. Comment on the post. You guys know how that works, right? To me, it's not about the likes, the follows, and the shares. It's about being able to share and do what God tells me to do. It's to go out here and tell his people that they are worthy and that he sent his son for them. That's how much they're worthy. And to remind them that they are. To unify the people, to let them know that God has your back. He hasn't forsaken you. He hasn't forgotten you. To help you remember that Luke 1:45, blessed is she who believed there would be a fulfillment in what God promised them. You got this. You can do it. All right? Talk to you guys soon. Bye.